Welcome back to the Go Homemade channel. In today's journey, join a determined man as he embarks on an ambitious mission to build a home deep in the woods. Follow closely as he gathers materials, carefully plans each step, and adapts to the unique environment, and see how he turns his dream home into a reality, right in the heart of this wilderness. Once the perfect spot has been chosen, he begins by clearing the surrounding area of fallen leaves and debris. With each sweep of his rake, the forest floor becomes tidier, making room for the foundation of his future home. He starts by driving 4 small posts into the ground at each corner of the designated area. Once the posts are securely in place, he stretches a strong cord tightly between them, creating a clear outline for the framework of the house. With the boundary now defined, he begins digging a trench along the line of the cord. This trench will serve as the foundation, ensuring that the structure will be stable and well supported as it begins to take shape. He carefully collects the stones from the surrounding area, loading them into a cart and hauling them back to the construction site. Each stone is selected for its size and shape, ensuring they will fit together seamlessly in the foundation. After collecting all the stones, he prepared the cement mixture. Using a shovel and board, he mixed water with cement powder, stirring until he reached the ideal consistency, thick enough to hold the stones firmly, but loose enough to spread easily. Once the cement was ready, he began the careful process of building the foundation. Each stone was adjusted to ensure it lay level, with no gaps between them. As he continued, he added cement and placed each row of stones, building the foundation higher. The process was slow and precise, with each stone requiring meticulous attention to detail. As he builds the foundation, he carefully constructs a framework for the walls, dividing the house into different rooms. This planning ensures that each space will be well-defined and structurally sound. He marks out the boundaries of each room with precision, using the stones to form the lines that will guide the placement of the walls. With great attention to detail, he arranges each stone in a straight, neat line, ensuring that they align perfectly. The stones are stacked one by one, forming a solid base for the walls that will rise above. As he lays each stone, he spreads a mixture of cement and earth between them. This combination creates an effective adhesive, binding the stones together securely and ensuring they stay in place. The cement and earth mix hardens over time, providing a strong, durable foundation for the structure above. The walls soon begin to take shape. Each room is carefully framed, and the area is built up one high and one low. With each stone placed, the design of the house becomes clearer, and the work progresses steadily towards completion. He begins by pouring soil into the trench to raise the base of the floor framework. Shovelful by shovelful, he carefully adds layers of earth, leveling it out to ensure an even surface. The soil is compacted as he works, creating a solid, stable foundation that will support the floor of the house. To ensure that the soil was properly compacted, he created a compacting tool to help compact the soil. This tool was made from a sturdy wooden stick with a large base. He used it by repeatedly lifting and dropping the stick into the ground, creating force to compact the layers of soil below. With each strike, the soil becomes more compact and solid, creating a firm, stable base for the floor framework. He begins by cutting the wooden beams into precise lengths, preparing them for the framework of the walls. With careful attention, he strips the bark from each piece, ensuring the wood is clean and smooth, ready for construction. He carefully measures and marks the points where the pieces of wood will connect to ensure a perfect fit. Once he has finished cutting, he carefully assembles the pieces of wood, checking that each joint is tight and precise. With a steady hand, he cuts notches and grooves into the ends of the pieces of wood, creating joints that will securely join them together. This process requires a lot of patience and skill, as each connection must be exact to guarantee the stability of the frame. Using the cement mixture, he carefully secures each beam in place, applying the mixture to the base where the wood meets the stone foundation. The cement acts as a strong adhesive, bonding the wood to the stone and preventing any movement. The wooden framework now defines the shape of the house, with each room clearly outlined. The combination of cement and wood creates a strong and stable structure, ready to support the walls that will rise above. He continues by securing the vertical posts to create the framework for the walls. Carefully, he places each post in its designated spot, ensuring they are aligned with the horizontal beams that have already been positioned. These vertical posts will serve as the main support for the walls, holding them upright and providing structure. He proceeds carefully by securing the horizontal beams that will connect the tops of the vertical posts, forming the framework for the upper structure of the walls. To create strong joints between the vertical and horizontal posts, he carefully cuts matching notches at the ends of each beam and post. To reach the higher parts of the house, he built a scaffold using sturdy wooden poles. Carefully selecting straight, sturdy logs, he assembled the scaffold by placing vertical poles at regular intervals. Then he connected horizontal beams between the poles, creating a stable platform to support him as he worked at great heights. Once the scaffolding is secure, he adds additional crossbars for extra stability, ensuring that it can bear his weight as he moves up and down. The wooden planks are laid across the horizontal beams, creating a solid surface to stand on while he continues to build the upper sections of the house. When the scaffolding was finished, he continued to build the house frame. Gradually, the shape of the house appeared with a main room in the middle and lower side rooms on both sides. He began building the roof frame by creating triangular frames to form the basic structure of the roof. Using two long wooden beams, he carefully positioned them to connect the two highest points of the house, forming the sides of a triangle. Near the top, he added a horizontal crossbeam to further reinforce the structure and stabilize the shape. This crossbar will help distribute the weight of the roof evenly, ensuring the roof remains strong and stable. After completing the first frame, he repeats the process, making more of the same to prepare for the roof frame. He began securing them to the frame of the house, carefully positioning them along the top of the structure. Starting at one end, he lifted each triangular bar into place, making sure they align with the frame's vertical and horizontal beams. He makes sure they are placed at even intervals over the entire length of the roof. This spacing is important to ensure that the roof will have the necessary support and stability once the roofing material is added. Once the roof frame was securely in place, he began covering it with wooden planks to create the roof surface. Starting with the two lower sections on either side of the higher central section, he placed the planks evenly across the rafters. He arranges them carefully, ensuring they fit snugly together with no gaps in between. Each plank is securely nailed or fastened, ensuring they are tightly affixed to the trusses and won't shift over time. He works his way from one end to the other, moving across the roof, gradually covering the entire surface. Once the two lower sections are completely covered, he moves on to the central higher section of the roof, continuing to place and secure the planks. The result is a smooth, continuous surface that forms the complete roof of the house. After the roof is fully covered, he moves on to the finishing touches. He takes additional planks and begins attaching them along the edges of the roof, creating a clean and sturdy border around the roof line. He carefully trimmed away any excess wood that extended beyond the edge of the roof, then covered the entire roof with plastic sheeting for added protection. To secure the sheets in place and make sure they are sealed tightly, he uses a torch, applying heat along the edges and seams of the plastic. The heat from the torch causes the plastic to soften slightly, allowing the edges to fuse together and form a seamless bond. He gathers small, short slices of wood and vibrant green grass mats, ready to add the finishing touches to the roof. The small slices of wood are carefully arranged and nailed onto the roof, but not in any particular pattern or order. He places them randomly across the surface, creating an artistic, rustic effect that adds texture and visual interest to the roof. These wooden pieces serve as a decorative feature, giving the roof a unique and charming appearance. In the areas where the wood slices are not applied, he covers the remaining surface with lush green grass mats. The mats fit snugly across the gaps, adding a natural, organic touch to the roof. The vibrant green grass contrasts beautifully with the wood, enhancing the overall aesthetic and giving the roof a more earthy, rustic feel. After completing the roof, he began carefully dismantling the scaffolding that had been used to access the upper sections. With the scaffolding removed, the house began to look more finished without the temporary supports. To reinforce the wall structure, he installed diagonal braces across the wall frames. These wooden beams were attached to connect the vertical and horizontal posts in the frame. Next, he begins constructing the kitchen in one corner of the foundation, selecting a spot in the middle of the space. He starts by laying stones to build the base of the kitchen, stacking them carefully to form a raised platform. Once the stones are in place, he fills in the gaps with earth, leveling it out to create a smooth, solid surface for the kitchen's foundation. As he arranged the stones to build the firebox and cooking surface, he carefully placed the previously prepared tools and components, making sure they fit the design. He placed the stove lid, chimney, and grill in the designated locations, making sure it bonded firmly to the structure. With all the components in place, he continues to build around them, using stones and mortar to secure the firebox and cooking surface. Each piece is carefully adjusted and checked to ensure everything is level and stable. He proceeds to connect the chimney pipe to the previously fixed part of the kitchen. With the chimney and all other components fully assembled and fixed, the kitchen is now complete. He begins the process of building the walls for the house by cutting the logs into uniform lengths. However, the variation in the size of the logs adds a unique, rustic charm to the structure, giving the house a visually appealing, handcrafted look. He carefully stacked the logs on top of each other, aligning them precisely to form the foundation of the wall. As he built, he used a mixture of cement and soil to bind the logs together, ensuring that each layer was firmly fixed and stable. The logs were placed close together, with the glue mixture filling the gaps to hold them in place. While constructing the walls, he is mindful of leaving spaces for the windows and door frames. He carefully positions wooden frames in place at the correct spots for the windows and main entrance, ensuring these openings are well-sized and perfectly aligned. He focused on building walls for the higher base of the house, leaving the lower foundation exposed at the front. This area will be left as an open space for a small front yard, providing clear views and a functional area outside the house. The front of the house, with its open space, gives the house a welcoming, spacious feel, while the walls above are gradually raised, bringing the structure closer to completion. As he continues stacking the logs, the shape of the house gradually begins to emerge. Each carefully placed log adds to the structure, bringing the design to life. The walls, once just a framework, now rise steadily, revealing the layout and proportions of the home. On the sides of the roof, he begins enclosing the structure by attaching wooden planks vertically along the roof's framework. These planks are carefully measured and cut to fit the sloping angles of the roof, ensuring they align seamlessly with the existing design. Inside the house, he started by laying large sheets of plastic on the floor to act as a protective barrier against moisture. Once the plastic was in place, he began adding a layer of soil on top. He carefully pushed the soil to ensure it was evenly distributed throughout the space. He then compacts the soil, creating a smooth and level surface that will serve as the base for the flooring. He prepares a mixture of cement and earth to act as a binding agent for the floor. With the mixture ready, he begins placing round wooden slices, which he had previously cut from logs, onto the prepared base. These wooden slices, with their natural rings and textures, are arranged carefully to create a beautiful and unique pattern. Each piece is gently pressed into the mixture, ensuring it is firmly set in place. As he works, he ensures that the wooden slices are level with each other, creating a flat and stable floor surface. In the front yard, he begins crafting a semicircular staircase directly in front of the main entrance. Carefully selecting stones of varying sizes, he stacks them to build the curved steps. Each layer of stones is meticulously arranged, creating a smooth and stable rise from the ground to the doorway. He ensures that the curve of the staircase is symmetrical and aligns perfectly with the entrance, adding an elegant touch to the house. Using similar stones, he covers the entire surface of the yard, laying them closely together to form a solid, even patio. The stones are placed with precision, creating a cohesive design that complements the natural aesthetic of the house. He fills any gaps between the stones with earth or a mixture to secure them in place, ensuring the surface is both durable and visually appealing. After completing the main construction, he walks around the house to check every detail. Carefully examining the walls and foundation, he identifies any gaps or holes that may have been missed during construction. Using a mixture of cement, soil, and materials, he begins to fill in the gaps. Next, he began his front yard renovation by adding a staircase leading down to the ground. He placed 2 sturdy wooden posts in it, carefully aligning them for symmetry. The posts were buried deep and packed with soil to ensure they were stable and vertical, serving as markers and potential supports for the staircase. With the posts in place, he moves on to constructing the staircase itself. Starting from the edge of the yard, he carefully plans the layout, marking the steps to ensure even spacing and a smooth gradient. Using large, flat stones, he begins building the steps, arranging them one by one. The stones are selected for their durability and shape, with each piece fitting snugly against the next. The base of each step is filled with soil, carefully leveled to ensure stability and comfort when stepping up. Gradually, the stairs take shape, gracefully descending from the front yard to the ground below. As he works, he secures the stones with a mixture of cement and earth to hold them firmly in place. Once the staircase is finished, he turns his attention back to the interior flooring. To ensure a smooth and cohesive surface, he begins by spreading soil across the floor, allowing it to settle into the gaps between the round wooden slices that make up the flooring. When the floor was finally finished, he took a moment to admire his work. He put the kettle on the newly built stove, skillfully brewing a warm pot of tea. He took a break to prepare for the work to come. After his restful break, he returns to his work with renewed energy and focus. His next task is to build a large workbench, a crucial addition that will provide a stable and spacious surface for crafting the furniture and other items needed for the house. He started by fixing 4 sturdy wooden posts to the ground to form the legs of the table. He attached a wooden frame to connect the legs. Finally, he placed smooth wooden planks on the frame to form the tabletop, aligning them carefully. Then he started preparing the wooden railing for the balcony. He carefully measured and cut the wooden planks to the right size. He used a chisel to carve grooves along the dimensions of the logs. He proceeds by attaching horizontal wooden planks between the posts, creating the railing for the front yard and staircase. Carefully measuring the distance between each post, he ensures the planks are evenly spaced for a uniform look. Using nails and a strong adhesive, he secures each plank to the post, creating a sturdy, continuous barrier that outlines the steps and the yard area. He installed additional bars on the roof outside the yard. The holes he had drilled on the railing earlier, he filled in with soil to make a flower bed. Add crossbars along the railing, and the finished railing not only adds structure to the stairs and patio, but also provides a cohesive, sleek look to the entry of the home. Next, he begins crafting the main door for the house. He carefully measures and cuts the wooden planks to the appropriate size for the door frame. After ensuring they fit well, he arranges the planks and secures them with horizontal and diagonal wooden beams, nailing them firmly in place to form a strong, sturdy door structure. After assembling the basic frame, he added a little decoration. Using different sized wooden planks, he arranged each row of large wood as an accent. Then he inserted smaller wooden panels to cover the rest, creating a rustic, artistic design for the door. He fixed each of these decorative pieces to the door frame, nailing each one down, then fitting it into the frame. When finished, the door has a unique and eye-catching design that reflects the natural, handcrafted aesthetic of the home. He moved on to the windows. First, he assembled the wooden frames for each window, carefully measuring and cutting the pieces to fit the openings. Once the frames were in place, he carefully placed the panes of glass into each window frame. Of course, the bed is an essential part of the home. The bed, a cozy and functional addition to the home, provides a comfortable space to rest after a long day of construction. Its rustic design complements the natural aesthetic of the home, making it both practical and stylish. He decides to enhance the interior by adding a set of table and chairs, along with a wall-mounted shelf for storage. Using his woodworking skills, he carefully selects and cuts wooden planks, shaping them into unique, eye-catching furniture pieces. Each table and chair is meticulously crafted with attention to both functionality and design, featuring clean lines and sturdy joints. To give the furniture a distinct and rustic finish, he uses a torch to carefully scorch the surface of the wood. The heat creates a beautiful, darkened texture on the wood, bringing out the natural grain and adding a weathered yet polished look to each piece. This technique highlights the intricate details of the wood, giving the furniture a character that complements the overall aesthetic of the house. With the table, chairs, and shelf now in place, the interior is complete with functional and beautifully crafted pieces that not only serve a practical purpose, but also elevate the overall design of the home. And with that, his house is finally complete. To celebrate, he prepares a hearty meal, cooking it with care and enjoying it in the cozy warmth of his brand new home. Sitting at the table he crafted, surrounded by the fruits of his hard work. Thank you for joining him on this incredible journey. If you enjoy watching, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on upcoming videos. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next adventure.